All right. So Lycan, do you remember what happened last time?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So last time the party was tasked with going to a theater in order to investigate
Oh,
a bomb threat.
right. Now it's coming back to me. Now I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Um.
of course, they got to meet a very eccentric kitsune, a very mysterious Nightwing slash Dragonborn, and a very eccentric otter who is actually a scavenger.
And we learned that the kitsune is, has been touched by the Yellow King, and he's infecting with the cult in this theater. So we gotta go do something about that as well. And we wanted to check the prop closet because it was funky.
Yeah.
And now that I believe we finished talking to all the actors now, right?
No, you have not talked to the dragonfly yet.
Okay. So we talked to them, and then to the closet.
Yeah. It's a little interesting. The party's going into the closet. Usually it goes the other way.
Nice.
Oh my god.
After all this talk about serums and gender and expression.
But we gotta put our coats away. You know?
Oh, well, you know.
You guys wear clothes?
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm a cat. I don't wear clothes.
I'm sophisticated and cultured, so I do.
All right. So, do you guys go into the dressing room of the dragonfly?
Oh, we knock,
Sure.
obviously. First I knock.
Okay. Um, no. After you knock, um, a strange holographic display suddenly appears above the doorknob. and um and you see the holographic image of a dragon, although not a very detailed one. And you just hear her voice say, "Hello, who is it?"
Oh, we are the ones that have been tasked with security for this theater, and we're doing an investigation. So we would like to come in for question, to ask you some questions.
I suppose I did hear a thing or two about some adventurers coming along. I suppose you can come in.
Enter.
All right. And as the party enters, similarly to all of the other places they've entered, this is yet another dressing room where the entire world seems to shift. And this room is way larger than seems appropriate for a normal dressing room. But you see what almost looks like a laboratory. Partly,
Weird.
uh, uh, partly as if cyberpunk, but also partly as if steampunk with clockwork gadgets and stuff as well. And at the other side of the room, sitting at a desk, you see the dragonfly wings of a dragon currently poring over something that appears to be glowing, although you can't quite make it out from where you are. One thing that's notable is that she is very, very purple.
Suspicious.
What's suspicious about purple?
Well, I was saying suspicions to a lot of things in the description. It is that I want to interrupt again.
Oh,
But suspicious.
no. Character or players may go now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember what the whole deal was. Can someone else go, and then I'll...
Zale will approach and extend a hand. Thank you for meeting with us. I know you must be busy.
Since she's currently facing away from you, she just extends one of her forearms backwards to shake yours, while using the other three to continue whatever it is she's doing.
Weird.
Sure,
If it's no trouble, we'd like to ask you a few questions about the upcoming performance you're planning on giving.
Of course, just try to keep it quick. I am currently very involved in trying to create a new special type of foxfire lantern.
Maria perks up. A foxfire lantern, you say?
Oh, indeed.
And what use could you have for a foxfire lantern? You are not a fox.
Well, that's exactly it. I want them to be for more than just foxes.
But the foxfire is a spiritual flame that is produced by kitsune.
Yes, but you see, with enough research, anything is reproducible.
Quite admirable and interesting.
Next, you're going to tell me that you can milk a lizard. Actually, don't tell me that.
Can we milk a lizard?
Well, I suppose it depends on what kind of milk you're after.
It's an interesting proposal. Not quite something I'd expect an actor to be doing, but I suppose you can be multi-talented.
I think we're getting off topic.
No.
Ah, yes.
This is just as important.
Have you had any strange occurrences? Have you seen anything strange occurring in the theater? Out of the ordinary, supernatural, that sort of deal?
Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check.
Okay.
Which tab did I have the server on? Oh.
Bad.
Oof.
If you want, you have a hero point ready.
Actually, yeah, might as well. I have to. Apparently, it's
Uh,
worse.
they usually reset at the new
That's
sessions.
Yeah, I presume it was. But either way, I regained the point that I used.
Okay. She finally turns and looks at you, thinking for just a moment, saying, "You in particular seem to glow a bit." Well, personally, I just, as far as I'm concerned, that actor from the Water Kingdom is absolutely up to something. I don't know what, and I haven't determined if it's worth researching yet.
Quick reminder: who's the actor again? I had a character.
Would that be the author?
Yes, the scavenger. Although she's already
Right.
figured out that they're not quite an otter, but that's out of character.
You said you were going to research them. Do you have any preliminary findings? You must have found them suspicious for something.
Well, they keep muttering about revenge plots, vengeance, stuff like that.
Oh, we already, learned some of that.
Oh? Do enlighten me.
Zale will just kind of gesture to Seeker, who may or may not still have several stab wounds. It seems our friend may have already found her revenge, shall we say?
I see.
Unfortunately, our friend Seeker drew from a deck of many things and may have accidentally killed half of their kin.
Half of their kin? No. You don't understand. There are hundreds of them. There are likely thousands. But even if you kill just one, they will all have your throat.
She very suddenly pulls out a notebook and a pencil and just wheels her chair right up the Seeker. And she says, "Really, this is quite illuminating. What can you tell me about these scavengers?" Out of character, you did say that word, right?
I don't. Did I? I don't think I did.
I
Okay.
think we were talking about like the otter folk or the
Right,
people
okay.
that Seeker killed.
Right.
Yes.
So
Accidentally.
okay. So yeah, she'll just go. She. Okay. Sorry. Then yeah, she says.
You're good.
That sounds illuminating. Tell me about them, because I can tell that they're not quite an otter.
Why do you want to know?
Well, since you seem to know about thousands of them, what are they like? What is their culture like? What kinds of biomes do they live in? Do they have a culture? Do they have a society?
Their society is built around the exchange of pearls as a currency. If you have pearls, you can do just about anything with them.
Ooh, I might have to remember that if I need a favor from them later.
They're not the type to come up with schemes, though. So I don't think they're up to something. They're very clever, but they're not mischievous. More
So you're
often
saying
than
that
not, they
so
Sorry.
you're saying that they're very monolithic in their behaviors?
I have to Google what monolithic means. Give me 1 second.
Like very very like unified. If one of them acts a certain way, like all of them act that way.
Oh, yeah. They all do the same stupid shit, follow each other around, follow each other off cliffs. One throws a spear at something, everybody else joins in.
She then taps her pen on the paper several times, seeming to think, and says, "Interesting. So it would appear to be that the one with us has broken away from the norm. So there can be outliers." She then quickly begins scribbling in her notebook.
Did we get this person's name yet out of character?
No.
Okay.
Also, let
sorry
me
for
show
my.
up. Let me pop an image of her really quick because I do have one.
I apologize. I don't believe I caught your name.
Well, I didn't throw it at you.
Could you?
Well, I suppose you can call me Fluorite.
Alright, you say?
Yeah, Fluorite.
As in the mineral?
Well, yes.
And not fluoride, like the mouthwash.
Correct. Fluorite is a phospholuminescent mineral, and obviously I am delighted to be named after such a thing.
I remember fluorite.
A really pretty drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is completely out of character, but yeah, so that art actually comes from Gray, who is a good friend of the Florence. And if you ever want, and I seem to recall that Gray is, always happy to receive commissions if anyone's ever interested.
I got a commission from Gray for Gallows. That
Ah,
was the
right.
profile picture.
I'll have to find them at some point. I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
commissioning Art of Mysona,
Yeah,
now that I have a rough sheet.
yeah, I mean, if you just ask the Florins, they can absolutely direct you to her. Okay, so who next to ask questions?
I suppose an actor more than anyone else would be positively beaming to be glowing as much as you are.
Oh, for sure. Granted, I personally am not just an actress. It's more of a side gig, really. Personally, I want to spread the light of knowledge.
Must be why you've taken such an interest in creating foxfire lanterns.
Among other things. I mean, just imagine being able to provide such an incredible magical fire source to every race.
And trust me, the metaphorical implications of discovering how to make foxfire lanterns in the pursuit of knowledge is certainly an illuminating journey.
She then grins and says, I like you.
Maria creates the mote of foxfire in her hand. I never really thought about it. Most other races just, create fire with like a flint and steel or magic.
But isn't there something just so incredible about the idea of putting your very soul into something that lights the way forward?
In a metaphorical sense, yes.
Oh, but in your case, it is certainly not a metaphor.
Maria seems to contemplate this for a minute, staring into her own fire before snuffing it out. Well, you do have a point there. Uh,
For acting being a side gig, you sure are at the most prestigious, oh fuck, I'm trying to think of a word. Auditorium? I don't know.
Institution?
Yeah. For having acting as a side gig, you sure are at one of the most prestigious institutions for performance.
Well, you know what they say, the best and brightest can figure out how to do just about anything.
Perhaps.
do you... Back to the topic at hand. Do you know of any reason why someone would want to harm the theater or stop the play?
Roll diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Damn, everyone's rolling low on those tonight.
Oh boy.
I am going to reroll using a hero point.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's
Diplomacy is cursed today.
Can I assist possibly?
You can do your own diplomacy afterwards.
Okay.
Um,
I forgot my health is so low. Do I have battle medicine?
okay, so after she'll look Maria over several times, seeming to ponder and think, and then finally says, "Tell you what, If you are willing to be my guinea pig for a week, I might be convinced to tell you a bit more of what I know.
You want to experiment upon my fox?
Exactly.
Well, I am always down for a little bit of scientific testing. So I'm willing to submit to that.
Not only that, the sooner we get done, the more time we'll have for discovery and revelation.
Certainly. Very well. Under those terms, I suppose, I will say that I don't personally know of any specific people, at least that are here, that would want to hurt anyone or harm the play. However, there is, well, that yellow figure.
Yellow figure?
Yes, they wear quite a bit of yellow, and they're flitting, would be the best way to put it. They don't seem to stay in one place properly.
Can I make an occultism check?
Sure.
Can I also make one?
If
Sure.
I may, while they're rolling that, Zale will inquire further.
Oh no, wait,
when
never
you-
mind. I don't have occultism. Never mind.
When you say they don't stay in one place very well, do you mean they're more of a vagrant, they wander around, or do you mean they seem to displace regularly, teleport around maybe?
Well, I haven't personally seen them teleport, but while they do wander quite a bit, if you ever look around the corner from somewhere they've gone, for some reason they just seem to be missing suddenly. And,
Elusive, yet they seem to stand out.
oh, certainly, especially because they're, as far as I'm aware, not any of the, or not a performer. I don't know if there's someone that Loki hired.
Loki?
Oh, yes, the one who's the director of the play.
And have you talked to Loki about this person?
Once or twice, but I couldn't get anything definitive.
As in, they don't know who this person is, or they're evading you?
Hard to say, really. Couldn't quite get a read. Loki is someone who you can't really get a good read on, realistically.
And nobody else you've talked to seems to know anything about this yellow fellow.
Oh, plenty of the other actors have seen them around as well.
But none more intimate knowledge than you.
Well, as far as I can tell. Of course, besides apparently Hestia deciding to follow them sometimes. Granted, I don't blame her. I absolutely like to investigate strangers. Well, at least if they seem interesting, standing out in the dark places and all.
Hmm.
Have you had any strange dreams recently?
She seems to think for a moment and says, "Nothing too out of the ordinary. Why is that?"
One of the other
Plenty
actors.
of paranormal situations can sometimes give you ominous foretellings in your dreams.
One of the other actors also reported sleepless nights, so we're trying to see if there's a correlation with any of the other staff.
Fair enough, I suppose. Unfortunately, I can't say that my sleep has been particularly disturbed or had any weird dreams.
I know you said that they moved around a bit, but do you happen to know where we could find this person in yellow?
Not at all, unfortunately. Sometimes you just catch them at the right time.
Mm. Very well. Well, that's all I have. Maria looks at the rest of the group. Any other questions from y'all?
I am having technical difficulties at the moment.
Oh,
Not with the. I'm in a bit of pain.
ah,
It's making it a
Oh,
little
that's-
hard to think. So I'm gonna take pain meds and hope it goes away soon.
so you're experiencing secret stab wounds. Got it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Zali remains in quiet contemplation.
Maria hands Seeker a bottle of health potion labeled Tylenol 3.
God.
Glug, 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 glug. Please give me health potion. I'm currently at. What even? I don't know. Hold on. I have to do fractions. I'm currently at a quarter of my health.
Yeah.
Maria, can I make a medicine check to see how bad off Seeker is?
Sure.
Since he hasn't really mentioned it to her?
Seeker's standing there, just casually bleeding out. It's fine.
I don't
Cool.
know how high.
Fine.
Sorry, I had the wrong tab. Oh, 16 is a little on the low side for this, but you can definitely tell, at least for, real triage, but you can definitely tell the Seeker has still some, pretty fresh wounds.
He's got some issues.
I totally forgot that I can use crafting for that.
That's why I wear black. It's harder to see the blood stains.
Maria leans down and rolls a 7.
Yep, 7 healing. Congratulations.
It's
DC
thanks.
15, then you should have critted.
No,
Uh-uh,
crit.
no,
10
it's-
over.
Yeah, it's 10 over for a crit.
Oh, sure, yeah, I forgot. DC 15, dumbass.
Um, you know, even though personally I can't have my own character asking the questions right now because I know too much of the plot, I can still have Kava go and poke Seeker in the back with a glove that glows,
Why is everyone poking me?
and you are healed for 11.
You're very pokeable. Uh,
Seeker pokes you. You're very pokeable.
you should come to my tent some night, and I'll show you just how pokeable I am.
I think I'm a little too short to ride that roller coaster.
It's okay, I can get a step stool. Maria hands him another potion.
I think you're gonna need a step ladder.
Kava will then just say, "Wouldn't it be a booster seat?"
Now that's just insulting.
Well,
That laugh is in character.
Oh, all of this is in character.
But that last laugh that I was doing
Kalagan,
was in
Kalagan,
character.
Kalagan.
So I presume this was in character.
yeah. Kava just says, well, you were the one talking about a roller coaster. The problem with lower height is, never mind."
We'd figure it out, Seeker. Don't worry.
We are very good at getting off track, aren't we?
Yes.
Perhaps we should leave this one to prepare for the show then.
Oh, certain. Sorry. The others respond, "Well, if that's all you have to ask for now, just make sure
No,
to swing
in
by
fact,
later." Oh, go ahead.
One last question. Have you had done anything? And I say anything weird about the prop room? Prop closet?
You know, as much as I love the girl, I have seen Hestia go in there many times, and she spends way longer than anyone should in there. Is she like trying on weird clothes, or is she like, sorry, let me word this better. I don't know if she is role playing with herself with different costumes. Who knows? Everyone has their hobbies, I guess.
I can think of lots of things that one could do with a room full of costumes.
Certainly.
But I digress.
But other than
That's
that,
all the questions that I have.
Yeah, I haven't noticed too much, I suppose. But I certainly hope that your investigation into this sheds some light on to whatever is going on.
Of course. Thank you very much, Miss Fluorite.
Thank you for your time.
She nods, and then she will immediately swivel her chair around and go back to the desk and start playing with the lantern again. And then, before finally calling to Maria and saying, "Don't keep me waiting too long for our test."
Oh, you don't know me very well yet, but I very rarely keep someone waiting.
I like to think all the stuttering is part of the NPC. That they're actually talking like that. It fits.
God. I mean, maybe. I just have a brain and mouth that do not work in sync.
Same. Same.
My mouth tends to say things before my brain can think about them.
All right. Time to go ask that the guy for a prop room key. It would make sense as we're like leaving this person's room. I say quietly to the others. It would make sense, yes, if the propagator of this establishment was the one behind all this. A cultist of some sort, perhaps.
There's something about the yellow. I can't put my finger on it, but it's making me uneasy. That person in yellow.
It can be quite an ominous color, depending on the context.
Not only that, remember the riddle we were given?
Yes, of course.
A prophecy.
Indeed.
They mentioned an enemy in yellow. It references yellow a decent amount. warning
I'll
of
roll
the pink and
occultism.
yellow swirling, saying that the yellow would corrupt to mind the yellow enemy.
I'll roll occultism.
Oh, yeah, I guess there were occultism rolls earlier, and for anyone who did, the only thing you could really puzzle out is that what Fluorite was talking about was likely the same figure that Hestia and Moongazer were talking about.
Yeah, everyone else has mentioned
Okay.
the yellow guy has kind of made the same description of the same person doing the exact same things. It's very
Could
clear that the fox has been corrupted in some way by this entity. Seems post haste we should do something about that.
Although, I will
Right.
say, out of character, if anyone can roll a particularly good occultism roll, maybe you can find out or your character can know something else about this yellow figure.
That's what I was going to ask. May I have Zale roll esoteric lore
Sure.
to see if he can try and piece together some parts of the mystery?
This
it's
absolutely goes directly under esoteric, so you do not need to roll the -2.
Yep,
Oh,
it's a
nice.
creature. Damn, that's
Okay.
shit.
However,
This is me
Probably
trying
Hold up.
very hard to separate my external knowledge from my character's knowledge.
Some can also aid our homeboy over here, our home.
as I think Big, you still have a hero point, right?
Yes, that I didn't know if that's what you were gonna say, or because I was gonna wait
Yeah,
for you
the
to finish
session just
before
ended.
saying.
Yeah, you can go for it.
There we
Come
go.
on.
That's better.
All right, let's see.
I don't know how particularly high is, but
I mean, that's way better. Yeah, that's one away from like you rolled a 19. No, that was not earlier. You rolled a 14.
yup,
That's pretty good.
He has a plus
it is in
17,
fact
so
above average.
inexplicably high, inexplicably low. What you want, but I know where to go.
Someone could at least aid them. Might be better.
You generally can't aid a knowledge check. Like the person either knows it or they don't. You saying something isn't going to like put information in their brain that they don't have.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense because you can always talk to each other and figure something and deduce things.
As far as I can tell, aid is generally reserved for like helping people do a specific action rather than like brainstorming. But
Correct.
Recall
So, recall knowledge is recollection. So you can't really aid a recollection. You can just roll your own. The only things that are able to aid a recollection are those who are able to gain a psychic link with whoever is doing it. That is why familiars are able to do that. So that means Seeker needs to get that psychic shit out. And anyways.
after a moment of pondering, Zale will light up just the smallest amount. I can't remember the name right now, but I remember there was an old god, one that may or may not be still regarded or worshipped in any way. But I can't keep myself from associating the color yellow with him. With them.
Well, if it is one of the old gods, that would be terribly unfortunate for everyone here.
Wait.
And remember, the riddle itself made several allusions to the god of old, the goddess of every story told.
Maria looked concerned for a moment before brushing it off. Well, we're not going to learn anything more standing around here.
Yeah, so let's go or get our prop room keys. Can we go find the Loki guy?
Which Loki would still be hanging out at least somewhat close to the dressing rooms.
Look. Our investigations have allowed us to need to inspect the prop closet. We
Ah,
have some keys.
well, I suppose I could let you look into the prop closet. And with that, she will pull out a giant ring of keys, take a little while to seem to sort through them before finally pulling one off. Not in a normal manner. She just pulls it directly through the metal ring and then hands it to you.
Much appreciated. Alright. Let's go. Don't we all need a key?
Um, Out of character, I don't remember. If so, then she
Well,
would have
let's just
given
say
one
we
to
only
each.
need one. So let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, we'll keep it simple.
It's a door. You'll open the door and then everybody can walk through it.
He opens
Unless it's
the
one of
door.
those funny magical doors, and then you have to tickle a tickle. But
I
we have
do-
secret for that.
Well, according to Hestia's thing, actually remembering the dialogue, Hestia said it basically is that kind of thing. So yes, each party member will have been handed one. Each one,
Yeah, that's what I
and
was.
each time she will do the same thing of sorting through all these keys. And despite the fact that she pulls one off, for some reason you can't seem to tell that there's any fewer keys on the keyring.
Yeah, that's why I asked in case it changed it. But yeah. Alright, let's go. So we go, we open the door. Anything weird happened as we open the door?
No, besides the fact that when you insert the key and turn it, instead of opening the door, you just suddenly find yourself on the other side of it.
Here. Okay. And start inspecting the room. What do I see in it?
Well, I might like to have a perception roll for that.
Okay. But what do I see like first? Like as I enter it?
Well,
Anything
you see
anything
lots and lots of costumes and props.
Okay.
Well, the door is a little odd, but every room in this building seems to be a little odd.
Although, in the nature of how this theater tends to work, I will say the dressing room is bigger than one might expect. And towards
Mhm.
one side of of this room, since it is a prop room, it is certainly big enough to fit some rather large props.
Yeah, can
Normally,
we see
you'd
the
think
floor?
that those were kept under stage as storage there, but no. You see these towering props on one side of the room, and it's hard to really tell where the ceiling is actually capping it off.
Dang. I don't see the pillow. The pillow fort's not here. Damn.
Though, oh, well,
No, the blanket fort. It was the
that
blanket
would
fort.
be looking around. But this is your, initial observation.
Yeah. I presume the blanket fort's
Okay.
big enough. So.
Assuming your character is not blind, they can see that they are in a room full of props and clothing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
pillow fort, blanket fort. What else do what do I find? Do I
Um,
find anything at all?
well, as you search around for a little bit, it looks like the three of you are the ones doing most of the searching right now. Um, Zale is the first one to actually notice some blankets that are configured in a very strange way.
Strange being like they're
Rather than just hanging like you would expect blankets to hang, they seem to be covering something.
So
not
it's the
just
blanket fort.
not just like strewn on something, but seem to be covering like a thing, like maybe a person-sized lump.
Not a lump, more like it's almost like it's over a box or a frame or something like that.
Maria
What's
will
under it?
take the hook of her staff and lift the blanket up to uncover whatever this thing is.
Inside, at first glance, you can see that there seems to that it almost looks like a tiny room covered in blankets, and on the floor are many pillows and even a few plushies.
Cozy. I'm assuming there's some sort of magic trick to get you in there.
Well, as far as you can tell, it is definitely easily sized for people to go in. Although there's not much more room than could fit about 3 to 4 people. With
So-
4 being, Seeker, because Seeker is fun size.
So there's a box in there.
Well, it's more like if you were to say
A
height
large
wise.
dollhouse room.
Well, no. So height-wise, it would be the same distance between the bottom and top bunk of a bunk bed. And size-wise, it is about the width and length of a full-size mattress.
Okay, so it's just a bunch of blankets around a section with a little hole inside of it.
Well, yeah. In other words,
forming a hole with a bunch of little pillows for seats.
yeah, and it's not like a small
Right.
hole. It's a pretty sizable hole. You could fit
Yes,
through
a
it pretty
hole.
easily.
Yeah, so there's a whole area. And nothing else of interest.
Well, you'll have to look further to see if there's anything of interest. But that's it for. This is all the things you can learn at first glance.
Okay. Some I guess Dolly was the one that found it, so maybe you can look for it.
Well, for this part, you will need to roll a second perception check.
Okay.
Zale will indeed offer to go in first.
I would
Alright.
like to look at it with my eyeballs.
Okay. Both of you roll perception.
Womp womp.
No!
Well, the seeker is very good at seeking, and the seeker finds tucked between 2 of the pillows a slip of paper.
I retrieve the slip of paper and observe what is upon it with mine eyeballs.
What you
Zale kind
find-
of like looks at him for a second. Oh, I missed that. Good work.
What the seeker sees is a somewhat crude, although not terrible, drawing, and that drawing appears to be Hestia and Moongazer holding hands, looking at each other longingly.
It makes sense every guy, kind of fun
Seeker
stuff.
holds it up to Solly.
What kind of gay ass shit is hiding behind this thing?
Zale, sorry, Zale? Seeker, I'd encourage you to be less judging of people. Especially considering we basically just broke into the slumber house.
Oh, is that what this is?
They were definitely canoodling in here.
Yeah,
My best
so
guess
having
is
a
this
little
is-
slumber party, as one might say.
Yes.
Seeker puts it back.
They did ooze. They did ooze. Secret.
Stop saying ooze. I don't want to
Secret
think about
tryst.
ooze right now.
It was kind of obvious. Very obvious.
Oh,
You're
Who just
good.
does this on the regular? If not,
Kava,
there's maybe something between
Ka-
them.
Kava seems to think for a moment and then says, "Oh, so that's why Hestia kept calling Moongazer weird."
I don't follow.
Oh, it's just a sundry thing.
Sundere?
mayhaps-
That's why I was
May-
like, really? But
Or mayhaps
didn't-
it is a one-sided affair.
I don't know. Not like I care.
Moongazer might be the one with the
Well,
some feelings.
I mean, if both of them went in there and both of them are aware of this drawing and it hasn't been crumpled up or anything like that, it might not be so one-sided, Kava suggests.
Well, we don't know if Hestia knows about the drawing, but it seems more likely that she does. Since there, why else would you have come into this slumber fortress? Anywho,
Hestia says she doesn't remember waking up here. Right?
you said that you did not remember sleeping here, but waking up, yes. You're just alone.
But there
odd.
was implications that they went here more than once.
Correct.
Yeah, they're totally dating, Kava says, nodding firmly.
Quite likely. Extremely likely.
So, if that's true, then either Hestia was being not forthcoming to us about their relationship, or she's been unknowingly having a slumber party with Moongazer.
Repeatedly?
Think mayhaps it's just that either she did not want to talk about their personal relationship, or the entity that is cursing them might have possessed them in some way. And
Well, consider this.
so
It's
just
one
erased her
thing.
memories, or was present her at the exact moment we were talking to her, and said nothing particular about these slumber parties.
Well, see, it's one thing if Hestia simply wanted to keep this on the hush-hush. However, if Moongazer or somebody else has been surreptitiously bringing Hestia here against her will, now that's a different problem.
Maybe,
Quite true.
although Hestia also remembers coming here willingly.
But then seemingly some kind of fog kicks in and now she doesn't remember as much.
Well,
Why is it so complicated?
I guess one thing to consider is if you are sleepwalking or in a trance, well, for some strange reason, sleepwalkers are perfectly capable of navigating the world around them without running into everything. It's so interesting. But with that in mind, usually you're going to be inclined to go to places that are familiar to you. So, if she fell asleep, sleepwalked, she would either go to her dressing room, or if this is a place that has become familiar and comfortable to her, well,
Keep searching the room. I do not believe Moongazer would have spoken much about the prop room if they were somehow had involved in this and had nefarious dealings in it, because we are very clearly here to investigate.
Kesh, if I may ask, when we were speaking with Hestia, you seemed very suspicious of her. You seemingly walked out just to record something on your pad, but I could tell there was something going on.
Well, first things first. Add a character, what seemed like is that who had an email. That's what we wanted to do. You know shit. But past response. Oh, I simply had to say something to Seeker privately, but I did in fact suspect her. She seemed as if she was lying. Very suspicious type of person. Let me check what she was lying. Let me try to remember what the fuck she was lying. She did not seem like the superstitious type. Her reaction seemed quite fake and acted.
Well, she is an actor.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully they wouldn't be performing in front of us, especially when we're trying to do an investigation. But did you
Well,
find some
just-
part of a story that didn't add up, or was it more of an aura about her?
I believe that the part about her and her just following the entity and being oh so scared, and the several comments about the paranormal, so comes right into the paranormal that made her out to be as if she was very superstitious. We can tell that that is not the case. It is admittedly a hunch, but based on all the corroboration that others saw her follow the entity and seen sleepwalk, they're doing such things. Others also seeing and mentioning the entity. I do in fact believe that this entity is some nefarious uh, uh demon, ghost, some other world entity that's currently haunting this theater,
I
as
shudder
well
to
as the actor, the
I
actress.
shudder to consider this yellow person may not be some kind of old god.
Yes, it might so be, especially considering the little prophecy we were given. I think this might be a bit more above our pay grade than we might have expected.
I hesitate to say this is becoming increasingly more frustrating. A lot of hunches and superstitions and dead ends.
I believe we are necessarily at a dead end. As long as we just accept what is seems to be a bit obvious, that she is being somehow possessed or influenced by some otherworldly entity. There's cause that has some nefarious purpose and affinity for the theater. And he makes like a sort of overdone gesture of the theater with his hand. And well, you might as well keep looking. See what anything else can be found here. Did my original perception check find anything?
Um, sorry, you said another perception check to find anything?
Did my original one find anything?
No, unfortunately not.
Alright. I guess I can keep looking. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna roll public this time since everyone else has. Okay, wow.
Yeah, the private rolls are only for when you're doing like insider sense motive checks.
Well, perception is supposed to be always secret, and I'm pretty sure like last session they were being done secret, and we needed to do one.
As that was for sense motive. Although for doing a perception check to essentially scan an area, that's going to be a case by case GM discretion. Right now, I don't particularly care if you have rolled secret, because right now you are looking essentially for
Damn.
things that are pre-planned within the session and stuff like that. However, if you were to be scanning a room for things like traps and stuff like that, then you would be doing a secret perception roll, if that makes sense. But if you are looking for clues and details, having it in secret isn't that important. Anyways. Okay.
Don't even bother to answer where I got with that, because I'm pretty sure it's nothing.
Let's see, 24. Let me think.
Oh yeah, I should just ask if I even got anything before I rolled it, because You spend hero points after you know. Whatever, I spent it.
Um, so one thing that yeah, actually, so in the area, Cash will find one other slip of paper. This one's tucked underneath one of the blankets a little bit.
Okay. So I did find something, so I didn't spend it then. Alright. So what's a slip of paper say?
Well, it seems to be a handwritten note. Do you read it?
Well, yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Okay. Um, from reading it over, you can tell this actually seems to be a love letter. And this one is addressed from Hestia to Moongazer.
Makes sense.
All
I want
right.
to read. I just want to check just to see if Moongazer wrote this from Hestia's perspective for themselves, or if it actually was Hestia. I don't know. I was getting a vibe. I just want to check. May
Um,
have just rule that out. See if I can
well,
tell
for
right
that,
away.
you would kind of need to be able to compare handwriting, and you, as far as I'm aware, don't have handwriting samples from either of the two.
Yes. I don't know. Any particulars about the love letter? Anything particular it says?
Nothing particular. But it as far as you can tell, it seems to be Hestia was the one who made the advance on Moongazer and not the other way around.
Okay. Maybe it was normal Hestia. Mayhaps it was the entity trying to get close to Moongazer for whatever reason. I found the love letter. I hand it over. We move around to the others.
Did you find anything important in this, or are we just snooping?
Oh no, I just for whichever of yours is interest. Does not have any pertaining details.
If that's true, I really
Now
don't
put
think
it
we should
back.
be intruding.
Well, enough. No one else wants to see. I put it back.
All right. Any further perception rolls?
Nope, I'm good.
I think I already rolled one, didn't I?
So you can during this part, because it is an investigation, at each step you basically, as I have described each step, that would be the conclusion of the last set of perception rolls. Anyone is able to roll more perception rolls after a step has been concluded.
Okay. Well, there's mine.
All right. Anyone else?
I'm pretty sure I read it. So can I roll a third one?
Right now,
Or are we talking about like?
yeah,
Just
you have rolled yours in the current stage.
okay, just making sure.
So the only ones you have not are Seeker and Zali.
Yo, Gucci sounds good.
If I can roll one more, why not?
It never hurts.
Probably won't find anything new with that, but
Are you good, Paolo?
There,
I think we lost him. It's
he died.
very tragic. We knew him well.
It's so sad he got Ligma.
He had such lovable characters. Very memorable in every campaign we ran with him. It's so
he
sad to
died
see
from
him
his
go.
injuries.
Ligma, no.
Anyways. Okay. So Maria, after looking around a little bit, finally notices on the walls nearby is something painted in yellow paint.
What's all this then? Sorry, I went way too British there.
Right. Well,
That
what's all
sounds-
this then?
Oi, oi, you got a license for that?
You got a license for that yellow paint?
Tuesday.
Maria points to the yellow paint on the wall.
Eternal water.
Oi, Huey, Homelander done killed me wife.
All right, and with that, everyone can move closer to the yellow paint on the wall, and Ed does not need an additional perception check to look at it, although, do you guys approach it?
Maria definitely steps closer to get a better look.
I'll step once Maria tells us, but presuming something happens before she can tell us.
No.
Zolly will maintain his distance.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Cash actually would maintain his distance. He's superstitious.
Okay.
Or cautious, I guess. Wait,
So-
word for it.
Maria, getting closer, is the only one who is able to make out a better detailed look at this, and sees that it appears to be a Triskelion mark that appears as if 3 tentacles.
Spooky.
So what do you do?
I'm sorry, I had a brain moment. What was that?
On getting closer, you are able to make out that that the paint is most definitely a symbol, what appears to you as a triskelion of tentacles.
Well, that's a cult symbol if I've ever seen one. A cultism check.
All right, roll it. While you can definitely tell that this is a very occult symbol, you can't quite identify it.
It's some sort of occult symbol. I can't quite identify it. If anybody else wants to take a look and help, rather
Can you
than just
describe what it looks like? I presume you describe it.
Maria rolls her eyes. It's a triskelion of tentacles,
I presume you tell us that it's yellow.
and
Well,
it's
you can see that
painted
it's
in yellow.
No, everyone can see that it's yellow.
I won't look at it if I catch it. I don't want to look at it anymore.
Okay.
Cash is like a intelligent dog. They might be colorblind.
True.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sorry, to cash all the reds and greens just look yellow.
It all looks the same. But I don't look at it. But well, based on what we're dealing with, I'm presuming that is their symbol. If it's you calling it yellow,
Does anyone else want to roll for this?
do I need to look at it to roll?
Um,
Well, actually, I only
Presumably.
if you do not, oh, I was going to say if you do not get a good look at it, you will be facing a -2 to your roll. And if you don't look at it at all, it's a -5.
Yeah.
Could I have Zolly roll esoteric for it?
Yes.
-2 or nah?
Depends on if Zolly wants to get a closer look.
It's not
Yeah, he'll
creature,
approach it.
so yeah.
Okay. So if you approach, then there is no penalty. It is just
Log.
straight. All right. Well then.
Yee.
After looking at it for a brief moment, Zale's eyes will go wide and he'll kind of and he'll just kind of step back in shock.
Oh, sorry, I just realized I made one slight typo on that. Let me fix it.
Okay.
You mean they're not a boner cult? Anyway.
Okay, there you go. Just realized one word was wrong on that. It's fixed now.
Well, I can't say if it's related at all to this yellow person or the old god. I can hazard a guess that it is, but it's important.
Yeah, so I would say very clearly it is connected to this yellow entity. If you're saying it's colored yellow and there's an ominous symbol, and this is where Hestia has woken up from sleepwalking in,
Out of
I
character,
would
what is a
fathom that.
portent?
Yes, I would fathom that is. It would be silly not to assume it's connected.
How do I say? It's kind of like a prediction, I think.
Yes.
Well, maybe not.
Sorry.
Maybe not a prediction, but it's like seeing this, you know, something's gonna happen.
I added a bit of a follow-up there.
Omen.
Oh, okay. So actually, I'll rescind that. He'll say, yes, this is definitely associated with the yellow god. Has to. Came back to me, but all I know is that seeing this means something's going to happen, something dangerous. Whether it's the vague threats we've been hearing about or something else.
Hmm. I see.
Well, we know something's going to happen, but we don't know where, what, why, or how.
A safer presumption is that the theater is going to get blown up, but based on how things seem to go with us, I'm believing it's going to be slightly different than just a simple bomb exploding.
Well, if it's just a simple bomb, I'm afraid the outcome will be far more complicated, especially because we know royalty are being here.
Mm. Even a simple bomb could be handled. Thus, we could find it, get rid of it. Anything else would be even more complicated.
My intuition tells me we need to get everybody evacuated. We need to cancel this whole thing and simply get everybody out of the danger zone, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We need to find something more.
I quite agree that we should, at minimum, cancel this. Have this showing canceled.
That is easier said than done.
It's possible that whatever this
everything is.
isn't going to stop at our request, especially if we have no more than esoteric marks like this. We need to keep investigating until we find something actionable. Sorry,
I think
continue.
this is plenty actionable, but I think this is plenty actionable. My only concern is that artists are the way that they are at times, where their art is above everything else,
We might consider it
even safety.
actionable. Kava will just say, we might consider it actionable, but when you think about it, that's also because, well, no offense, there's a little bit of superstition, inclination in our party, and we can't necessarily guarantee that everyone else involved in this is going to feel similarly, and perhaps it's easy enough for them to dismiss as silliness. I'm inclined to agree with Zolly that we should be looking for something a bit more concrete to work with here.
You get such irrational people in an irrational world. Let's
Well,
keep
if this old god is as forgotten as I think they are, I don't think simply finding this mark is going to prove anything to people who aren't already bought into it, which I imagine is not going to be a lot of people.
I think anyone who pretty sure near all the actors have recalled seeing a yellow entity that's suddenly there and then not there, and then one of the actors has been sleepwalking into this room, and and suddenly there's an occult symbol on the wall in yellow paint. I think anyone with a clear head would see that as, oh, those things are pretty clearly connected. But just to make sure that there's no doubt. But where do you suggest we look next?
Well, I suppose we could try looking around at some of the places that perhaps they've seen this figure spotted, but as well, we're going to have to be quick.
Do we know where any of
let's
these
go.
sightings took place?
Not exactly, but the ones who seemed to see the most were Hestia and I think Moongazer and potentially Fluorite. So we'll have to see if we can ask them to give us some directions, or we can ask Loki for any thoughts on where we should look.
Perhaps we should also search the room of Hestia when we get a chance. See if the entity has been leaving any traces there. As well, we should probably leave this room and go and try to leave the room.
And so you're gonna go and just stick the key in the door?
I'm pretty sure. How did we? Yeah, all of us got our own key. Yeah, so that. Yeah. Exit the room.
Okay.
Let's go, everyone. We should not be in this room. This room is tainted. I tried to leave. Can I actually leave, or am I stuck in the room?
You're able to leave.
Okay. I pinch myself to make sure I'm actually in the room or outside the room, and it's not an illusion.
Well, you certainly feel the pinch.
I would. Okay. Cash wants to try to disbelieve any illusions that might be here.
Okay. Roll a will save.
$26.
As far as Cash can tell, they are not under any illusions.
For now.
So they weren't able to leave?
They were able to.
Yes.
Yep, there is no problem leaving the dressing room.
As far as we know. Watches later down the line, we wake up and it's like, it was all a dream. And that's the next Deus Ex Machina for when we die.
Well, no. This is the
Yeah.
absolutely fun part of all of this. But you'll see.
If you keep pointing out
it-
that we're getting
I
Deus
have
Ex Machina, they might
heard.
decide to just let us all die one of these days.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's called, that's the fun part. You can let a party die, and then the rest of the campaign takes place in the afterlife. Like, you can totally get away with that. Anyways. Does the rest of the party follow suit?
Yes, Zali will follow.
Okay, I'm back. I can hear y'all now.
Okay. And for Maria?
Maria will as well.
Okay.
Well, what are you guys just doing? I missed the already.
Well, I was just checking if everyone followed suit on leaving. Kava will follow, and I don't know if Paolo's back with us yet. It's also entirely possible that Paolo did a silly thing like muting and forgetting to unmute forever. I think he's done that once or twice.
Yes, it has happened before.
That is quite a Paolo move, you know.
But anyways, with everyone exiting the dressing room, I am going to end session there for this week, and we will pick up next week.
Well,
Aren't we
good
supposed to
session,
die
everyone.
this session?
What was that?
Weren't we supposed to die this session? Isn't that what Florence said?
No. I'm not going to kill you until like 3 sessions from now.
At least.
Maybe
Thank
4.
you. 3 to 4 business days. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Anyways,
comfortable. That is a good plan.
I would,
Like
yeah. Either way, I would very much like to thank everyone for coming.
yes, sorry for arriving late. My bad. I'm addicted to Monster Hunter now.
Well, in all fairness, I originally expected Guardian to be really late, so who knows? I was expecting a shorter session tonight. So yeah, we will pick up from there to go further on solving this yellow-clad mystery next week. So,
All right.
see you guys all then. Hasta la vista.